So hacking gentrification is an invitation to reimagine the revitalization of urban African-American communities outside of the box of status quo. Some get the spoils and some get balled up and discarded like dirty tinfoil. So in doing so, we will honor the African principle of Sankofa, which is looking back to go forward. We'll be taking a trip back to the future, but we won't have a Lamborghini, but we will be pedaling real fast and hope they have bike lanes, because this is Seattle. So we honor the first black resident of Seattle, who was Manuel Lopez from Cape Verde off the coast of West Africa. He was a musician, an entrepreneur, a barber. And then he was followed by William Gross, who was an entrepreneur, hotelier, restaurateur, and pioneer who bought 12 acres of land from Henry Yesler in 1882, establishing the Central District of Seattle as a settling place for people of African descent. He was followed by many others who migrated around the First and Second World Wars, who when they came looking for a better life than the Jim Crow South, they were forced to live in the Central District as well, due to covenants and other policies of discriminatory practices. And so they still made their community alongside Jewish community, Filipino community, Japanese community, and many others. And they gave us those such as the Jackson Street Jazz Legacy and Quincy Jones and Jimi Hendrix, which was epitomized or symbolized the progress by the forming of the Liberty Bank in 1968. Unfortunately, that progress did not maintain, and other policy changes, such as benign neglect, kind of changed that and redefined that community as a blight, a liability, something to be removed. And so that policy took its place, and that kind of brought us to a place a little different than our brothers and sisters and neighbors in the Pan-Asian Chinatown International District and Little Saigon area. And so we find ourselves here today thinking about how Seattle, a great city of wealth and education and resources, can own a statistic such as this. But still, all is not lost. We think about the Seahawks in the NFC Championship. Not the Super Bowl, that's a little too traumatic. And we know that there's still time on the clock, and our vision is around embracing design thinking, Africatown, and how do we source the brilliance of our community to come together to create a space and a place where the best of the African diaspora in Seattle can emanate. And we think that design thinking is a process that can facilitate that. And so the first two principles we embrace are empathy, empathize, and define. And so we empathize with the journey of those who've come, those who are still coming, and we embrace the diversity, or we define based on the strengths and the value and the richness and not the deficits. And so we think about the work happening at Africatown Center for Education and Innovation, growing the genius in our children to be the problem solvers of tomorrow. We think about the work that we've done with Hack the CD to build a startup ecosystem in the African American community that's connected with the broader innovation tech economy. We look at opportunities such as the former Fire Station 6 and making this an epicenter and a catalyst for spreading a culture of innovation, which is not foreign to the community, because we know that Quincy Jones was an innovator. We know that Jimi Hendrix was an innovator, but somehow our community missed the connection with the innovation economy that's grown around us in tech. And we look at the opportunity to make the Midtown Plaza at 23rd and Union, an Africatown Center commercial district where you can get Miss Helen's soul food, or you can get Moroccan food, or you can catch a jazz show, or hip-hop, or spoken word, all in one place. And we look at Langston Hughes, the opportunity to transition that into a community-run center of a cultural arts district, similar to what was just established in Capitol Hill. And we think about the resources that we have in our region, such as $210 million being proposed for a new youth jail that will incarcerate rather than unlock the genius and free the spirits in our community. And so we say this most educated city, as it's recognized, a wealthy city where there are resources. And we say, is there will? And I say, why not here? Why not now? Why not us? Let's hack gentrification. Thank you.